Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Sportsman. I'm your man, Eric Wilson, and man, we got a jam-packed show as always. But before we get started, let me go ahead and get the crew in here so we can have a very spirited conversation. So I'm going to start off as always. I want to welcome her back. She's been off for a week doing her thing. Our Queen of Hoops, Miss Megan Price. It is so good to see you. Look at you smiling. It is so good to see you, Megan. What's going on? How are you?
I'm doing great. It's great to see you too. How's your week been?
Oh, you know what? My week has been, it's only Monday, but it's been a great Monday. And we'll talk
Okay.
about that in just a moment. Let me get my man, Believe in the Pac-12 podcast on, Mr. Mike Carrison out there on the left coast. Good evening, sir. As you would say, forks up, my brother. How are you?
Oh man, look at you. You're a great guy. I mean, look, I'm done sitting here, reminding people who our football teams are. You are a great guy. If it comes down to it, though, Megan, I got the perfect thing for when he comes sees me, though, but I'm not going to reveal it on the show because then he won't want to stay with me.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
no.
facts. Facts. If you try and even give me a Dallas anything, it might end up burning up in the desert. But
man,
we seem to be missing somebody tonight. Someone who, he might not be having such a good day, but we got to get him in here anyhow. Can I please have John Shear in the building? John Shear, host of Oh What a Show, part of the Sideline Sports Network family, one of the main faces of Sideline Sports. John, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. We're only a couple months away from finally getting to see the Miami Dolphins' new look team, so it's pretty exciting.
Well, okay, but John, let's take a moment, shall we,
That's
John?
what you wanted to talk about?
No, that's not what I wanted to talk about,
Oh,
John.
okay.
I'm going to start the show. John not wearing a Miami Heat jersey tonight, not even in Heat gear. Now, listen, I understand. Shameless plug. My man John Shear does over the show from 9 to 9:45 every Monday night right here on Sideline Sports. And make sure y'all like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Sideline Sports Network. And also follow us on Twitter at Sideline Sports 1. That's the number 1, for all the latest and greatest. But, John, yesterday, something happened yesterday, John Shear, and you, sir, over the weekend were very, very boastful, if you will. You appeared to be that way. You were commenting on the Chicago Sky the reigning, defending, undisputed 2021 WNBA World Champion Chicago Sky. Thank you. Coming to your house to DC.
Yeah, exactly.
To face the Washington Mystics. And John.
61-35. I'm sorry.
Do you
What's the score of the Spurs game?
What? Oh.
My middle finger is 1. It could be 2.
Anyway, please, Eric, continue. Sorry.
John, you seemed very you were very sure of yourself that this game was going to go in the favor of your Washington Mystics. But John, that was not the case because you see, history was made yesterday. Candace Parker.
Oh, I
Candace
thought
Parker.
You were going to say Elena Delle Donne become the second fastest player ever to 4,000 points.
Yes. Congratulations to Elena Delle Donne. Yes. Congratulations to her. But John, Candace Parker had a triple-double.
That was
the Chicago
pretty impressive.
Sky beat the Washington Mystics. And then, John, you were like, well, where's Eric? No one's hurt. He ain't blabbing. He's not talking.
Well, normally you talk.
You have known me. That's football, John. Football's still a completely different beast. Here's what I'm going to say to you. And I can't believe I've gone this long starting the show and we haven't heard from Mike or Megan. So I'm going to shut up here in a minute. But I'm going to leave you with this thought, sir. See, John, I don't know a lot of things. I'm still learning. I'm still growing.
It's true.
But if there's one thing I can damn sure tell you is that when I tell you something about the Chicago Sky, John Shear, you best believe it. Because what did I tell you? I said it was Kalia Copper, the worldwide MVP, Kalia Copper. It was her first game back with the team after coming from overseas, and I'm very happy that she's here. And shout out, free Brittany Griner. I am tired of this. I'll get to that a little bit later. But, John, it was her first game back. She was drafted by the Mystics before she was traded to Chicago. You don't think there's a certain level of oh, you sent me away, so I'm gonna come back here each and every time in front of my family who I haven't seen because I've been overseas. It's my first game back with the team, and I'm gonna go out and do what I do best, and that is be a finals and a worldwide MVP on your court, John Shear? Brother, please.
I'm just waiting for, was it June 8th?
Can't come soon enough. Look, my microphone's falling off. That's how excited I am, John Shear. But please, my brother, you have to understand something. When it comes to the reigning, defending, undisputed 2021 WNBA World Champion Chicago Sky, John, I am biased because they're the best damn team out there. Now, I know the record right now sitting does not show that, but best believe it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And if these ladies are able to get back to the playoffs, I don't care if you're Las Vegas. I don't care if you're Phoenix. I don't care if you're Dallas. I don't care if you're Washington, Atlanta, Connecticut, Seattle, Los Angeles. It doesn't matter. The Chicago Sky are going to go back to back.
Is there a book it stamped on that? Because last time you booked something, it didn't come true.
Please
book it. Go ahead. You're man enough to say that. Book it.
I have said everything.
Eric, don't
book a trip to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Just because the Heat are getting smacked around, don't go to John's bitterness.
Easy, Chris Paul. Calm down.
Dude.
Okay, all right, I've got my fill. John Shear, I am excited to see you.
We're not talking about that, like you said,
in less than 3 months. I am excited to see you on June 8th, where you and I will be attending, I guess what you want to call the rematch back in your house. Only this time we will both be in attendance, and we'll see how the chips fall. But for this moment, I'm embracing this one. This is what I'm doing. So let's talk about your Miami Heat, John, because you're just not having a good 48 hours.
Hey, look.
As you see, and shout out to our man in the back, Ray Land, holding it down for us tonight on the Sports Arena. John, 30? 30.
You said I ain't having a good 48 hours, but I'm just saying, I mean, my Orioles went into New York and beat the Yankees tonight, despite Aaron Judge hitting 2 home runs. So, I mean, it ain't that bad when you can beat the best team in record in baseball.
But John, the Miami Heat, that's your squad, my brother. That's your team, my man.
Yeah, of course.
And they're losing.
I told Megan earlier that this is a game where you lose, you don't have Tyler Herro, and you let him have the night off. If you lose, you still have Game 5 in your pocket going back to Miami. The advantage is yours regardless of what happens in this game. The advantage is yours. You have Game 5 in your back pocket at home.
Okay. All right.
Hold on.
And he told me this on the NBA carousel, which is on.
Do you remember what happened?
I'm sorry. Hold on. Whose carousel is that?
Megan Price's.
Okay, just wanted to make sure we put that out.
Do you remember Game 4 when the Sixers beat us Game 4 and the sky was falling and everybody was running their lips saying, oh, look, the Sixers are back, Embiid's back, blah, blah, blah. And what happened? Miami won Game 5, Miami won Game 6, and that was the series. Like, you just when you think you got the Heat where you want them, they always come back and get you. So I don't sweat. I mean, Raylan can say what he wants. He always says what he wants about my Miami Heat, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we're the best. We're the number 1 seed. We got home court. Like, we got that in our back pocket, and I'm not worried. I don't sweat.
All right, so then fine. You ain't sweating. Let me go to our Queen of Hoops, who's officially back with us, Megan. Talk to me about this matchup, because for John's points, as much as we don't like him, he is right. Miami does have Game 5 in their pocket. What do you see over these first 2 and 3/4 games, if you will?
I see Miami looking like a complete team, but they're banged up. So you want to see them come in, and we're not going to see Jimmy be at 100% tonight. When we knew that we weren't going to see Herro. So, this was definitely a game that I feel the same way as John. Like, it's all right. They can let this one go. Boston, it was obviously a must-win situation for them. They didn't want to get down 3-1. So you're going to see them come in and make a statement like that. And Jason Tatum has just been showing out in this game. At the beginning of the game, halfway through the second quarter, Jason Tatum had 20 points and the Miami Heat had 23. So, definitely was a statement for them. and they need that. They need that to continue to make this series go to the distance. And I definitely think it's going to go the distance to Game 7. I'm taking Miami though.
Okay, Mike Garrett's-Tenuto, holla at your boy. What's up?
Look, man. As much as I like to razz John, yes, Miami has a good team. This guy's out, Hero's out, in their pocket. Dude, it's the Boston Celtics, who have not lost back-to-back games since the calendar turn. So
that's fine. We'll win Game 5. They'll win Game 6. We'll win Game 7.
Done. Nope, zip. You're done. You talked. It's the Celtics. So to everything he always, this team's that. The Celtics, extremely physical. They got guys out too. So let's just get on that excuse horse with the Celtics too. They got guys out. So Marcus Smart, defensive player of the year, is not playing. He comes back to that.
I didn't use an excuse.
Something in his pocket. So all I'm saying is the Celtics, look, they were the best team in the East the second from the day the calendar turned to the new year. And until if the Heat somehow do beat them, which I don't see, Celtics are going to take this series after the beatdown it is tonight. I'm sure some guys will be a little bit more sore. And if they try to play, I mean, how good is Hero going to be if he does come back? Hopefully he can play, because then people in Miami have no excuse when Smart comes back too for the Celtics, and the Celtics smack him around again. So until the Celtics lose more than two in a row, then we can have this conversation. But they've been the best team. I mean, Eric, you and I, yes, wanted Philly and Phoenix, and it could have happened. It didn't.
No, it couldn't.
Maybe next year.
Yeah, it could have, John.
No.
Miami's definitely
Rivers is an overrated coach.
I went with the Celtics in the beginning of this.
Who's an overrated coach?
Doc Rivers.
Okay, John. First off, what I tell you last time we talked about this? Don't you be talking Philly noise out your mouth. I'm the Philly guy on this.
He brought up Philly. Don't. He brought up Philly.
What he
is overrated.
Was the matchup that we wanted, and I was the first to stipulate how I feel about Doc Rivers. When I was asked right here on the Sports Arena, part of the Sideline Sports Network family, when I was asked who's to blame, what did I say? I said Doc Rivers. Did I not? Okay, so I said it. Keep his name out your mouth. Why don't we do that? Focus on Eric Spoelstra.
Hey, he's a former Celtic, so I mean,
listen. Focus on Eric Spoelstra and what he ain't doing tonight for your team, because normally, as we've seen in the past,
coach.
Okay, John, he ain't there yet.
69-39.
He ain't there yet.
69-39.
He ain't there yet, John. Does he have the title? No, he doesn't have the title. He's a Hall
of Fame coach.
He's not there yet. Okay. All right. Megan, I want to give you the final word, but I gotta say this to John, because apparently he's gonna try and work on my nerves tonight. This is what John's gonna do. What did I tell you after Miami beat Philly? I said Boston coming for that ass. I said, and Jimmy Butler talking all that noise. Jahan, I know he overrated. Leave it alone, man. I know he overrated.
Haters.
God. Anyhow, Megan,
it's the truth.
Please. Fine. Megan, I'm going to go to you for the final word. Go ahead.
Okay, the final word. I still feel like it's going to come down to coaching experience. This is why I got to go with Miami. I think that they are an extremely I think that Boston is a well-coached team, better coached than we expected. I think they went much further than majority of us expected, and an excellent move getting Brad Stevens out of that coaching position and moving him into the front office. But I really feel like in this type of position on this stage, Spoelstra has more experience, and so I got to go with experience.
All right, fine. I still say Boston wins it in 6.
Don't sound so sad about it.
Split with this 2-2, because Mike and I are just like, we don't want to see John go to the NBA Finals, because listening to his mouth is just going to be something that we have to endure.
You're going to have to deal with the Super Bowl too. So
okay, that's it.
Hey, Eagles, Dolphins.
Go ahead, get your shine on right now. Go ahead and get your shine on right now.
Dolphins, Eagles.
Because John is going way off into left field. He just came off a baseball show. We going to break, y'all. We'll be back with the crew in just a moment.
Connecting your brain and body with interactive games and tests. Why is there no physical activity in today's health physical? Trazer is an holistic technology used to rehabilitate, prevent falls, and improve sport performance. Tracer Reports provide you, your clinician, your physical therapist, or athletic trainer objective data to make decisions on your health and performance over time. Measure what matters to change your game. Take the Tracer Challenge. Confidence, growth, connected by Tracer.
And welcome back into the Sports Fiend on a Monday night. Your man, Eric Wilson, alongside our Queen of Hoops, Miss Megan Price, Believe in the Pac-12's Mike Carrottenuto, and, of course, Sideline Sports' own Mr. John Shear. So let's transition over to the Western Conference because, Mike, this is your territory. This is your neck of the woods, my brother, staying out there on the left coast, man. You know, it's the Warriors. It's the Mavericks. I may have been wrong in my assessment. I thought that the Warriors would win in 6, but it looks like this might not even make it that far. So, Mike, talk to me about it, man.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's not even sour grapes. I mean, the way Dallas was able to defend Phoenix, Eric, we talked about it. I mean, it worked out on Chris Paul. I mean, they took out Devin Booker in Game 7, and I mean, look, I mean, hats off to Jalen Brunson. I mean, he played good in the first series for them. He went nuts against the Suns pretty much for, I think, all but one game, basically. So, like, I give him their props. I mean, Megan's guy, Dimwitty, who, I mean, I definitely like too, had some games there too. But the thing with the Warriors is that length. I mean, getting Kuminga back, like I was talking about last week, Eric, I know he's young, but at the same time, getting that length back and when you can defend the wings. And I mean, Ray Lynn and I were talking before the show about two-way players, and he's saying kind of overrated, but what the healthier Clay gets and what he can do when you have a guy like Steph that, you know, can shoot from half court, the leader that Draymond is on defense. So, I mean, I said 5 the other day, so I thought it would be in 5 too, but man, the Warriors, I mean, they're just too good. People saying, you know, Luka, you know, can't do it by himself. Obviously at this level, nobody's going to do it by themselves in advance, but I mean, they've done a good job taking the other guys out. Luka's got his. So, I mean, and look, it even pains me when Raylan was giving me a hard time after Game 7 that night. I said, you know, I said the Warriors probably win in 5. I thought the Suns would have got 6. I think the Suns have the wing play to maybe get 2 games, but I still think the Warriors would have won that in 6 too. So with everybody back, because Eric, you touched on this last week, they're finally, I mean, we all did, but they're finally all back. I mean, Clay came back halfway through. Then Steph goes down for a little bit. Clay doesn't play back-to-back games. Draymond goes out for that extended period. They got right before the playoffs. And, I mean, I guess you could say the one thing that Steve Kerr can go on is that beatdown. I'll leave you with this lastly. The beatdown they took in Memphis before they went back to Golden State to close it out. They don't want that in Dallas. They want to close Dallas out. So that beatdown is kind of a silver lining, good thing that happened for him. And look, with the way Steph's playing, the way Draymond's playing, I mean, you got Poole. It sucks that Gary Payton Jr., even though, you know, in selective minutes, he would have been just terrible for Dallas to deal with. So it's not a surprise. I mean, I guess I'm not fully surprised, but I thought Luka and the rest of the cast would be good enough to get 1 game.
And this man ran his lips all year about how Phoenix is the best team in the league. He comes in here and says Golden State would have beat Phoenix in 6, but he said all year about how nobody can beat Phoenix, and then he slides that in there in the middle, right around his monologue. He slides it in there like we wouldn't notice that. Get out of here with the nonsense. Like, I know what you did there. You talked all year like that.
All right. I'm going to turn this over to our Queen of Hoops, since these two young men do not know how to play nice with each other. So
they do not.
I know, but this is what they do. And I thank you for sticking with us. I really do.
Of
Talk
course.
to me about this, because I was under the assumption that Dallas was going to at least make this a series because of who Luka is. And as Ray Lynn pointed out last week, it's not like there were missing pieces that Dallas got back or lost before the playoffs. This has been the same group consistently throughout this entire season and into the postseason. It's just on the
well,
shoulders
no,
of one guy.
they lost Porzingis, so they did lose a couple of pieces, and this isn't exactly the exact roster. It's similar, but they lost Tim Hardaway Jr. Earlier on in the season before the All-Star break, and that's really Luka's right hand man. If you want to see the Mavs at their 100%, and even at that, they're missing a piece. They have some center depth problems, and it's a common problem throughout the league. Spurs have center depth issues. Plenty of teams have center depth issues. So not something that like, oh, the Mavs shouldn't feel like, oh, we came into this season and we overachieved. No, they did better than expected. So, definitely, Jason Kidd is in their rookie season with them. He's not a rookie head coach, but in his rookie season with them. So definitely making it to this point. Shout out to them, but it's over. Get the brooms out. Last night's game, while not a blowout, the Mavs were in possession of the game. Like they were up a little bit, and they allowed Golden State to come back in that third quarter. Golden State's probably the best third quarter team in the league, and then their ability to finish it out is that difference maker. But shout out to the Mavs. They did better than we expected, but I had them getting one game in this. I thought it was going to be 4-1, but it's gonna be 4-0.
And see, that's something that we can talk about, because I thought that. I said, listen, Dallas being in this position, we've always talked about those Cinderella stories, those underachievers, those teams that we don't put a lot of stock in them just because they don't have that formula yet. We knew the greatness of Luka, and to all your points, Megan, yes, and thank you for reminding me. The fact that Porzingis is out, Tim Hardaway Jr. You need a Robin to his Batman. That's what you need. And so when that doesn't happen, yeah, then Batman's got to wear the brunt. He's got to put the cape on and the cowl and drive the Batmobile and he's got to do it all, But at some point, it's going to catch up to him. And I think this, unfortunately, is where it does. Now, when I look at Golden State, it was like it wasn't a question of if, it was just a question of when that whole team was going to be at 100%. And again, shout out to Ray Lynn for dropping dime on us and saying, listen, Clay didn't come back till November, December. Then Steph went out. Then Draymond was out. And it was just like it was the same thing you could say about Brooklyn. When was Kyrie, KD, and before he got traded to Philly, James Harden, when were the three of them all going to play together? Because when they did, you saw what they were capable of. It's the same thing with Golden State. But what Golden State has is, as we like to say here on the sports arena, we got them side dishes, them complementary pieces. You know what I mean? You've got a Jordan Poole. You got an Andrew Wiggins. You have so much talent that is constructed on this team that it's like, I just had more faith in Dallas. I had more belief that Luka was going to be able to carry this team to win one. And listen, the possibility is still not out. It's not impossible, just improbable at this particular stage. But Dallas could very easily pull one game out and make this a gentleman's sweep. I know there are some people who don't like saying that, but that is the case. Now, John, if you can control your composure here, sir, I'm going to give you the floor to talk about Dallas and Golden State. This is not about Mike and his Phoenix Suns. This is about Dallas and Golden State, the two teams in the Western Conference Finals who are vying for the opportunity to represent the Western Conference in the NBA Finals.
Shameless plug, Sideline Sports 8:30 tomorrow night. We do talk hockey, a lot of hockey, L. Bushman. I saw that in the comment that we don't talk about hockey on the show. Tune in tomorrow night at 8:30 because you will get all the hockey you ever want. Anyway, this is the Atlanta Hawks from last year. That's what the Dallas Mavericks are this year. They overachieved. It's been a nice little story. But when you go to the playoffs next year, when you're at this same spot next year, the Mavericks won't be anywhere close to this spot. It'll be just like the Atlanta Hawks this year. It's just like the Knicks last year. It was a great story. The Knicks got bounced, and where are they at this year? Nowhere. Like, I ain't worried about the Mavericks. They overachieved. They beat the Suns when they shouldn't have beat the Suns. We should have got Golden State and Phoenix. We didn't. Can't take anything away from the Mavericks, but this is an overachievement. That's what this is. They ain't gonna be back in this spot next year. So let's just call it is what it is. There's a reason why Golden State is just doing what they want with them, and Jordan Poole hasn't even really done anything. Klay Thompson hasn't really done anything. Like, there's a reason why we haven't even seen the full Golden State effect yet in this series. Like, they haven't really flashed. They haven't really flexed their muscles. It's just kind of been like 75%. We haven't seen that 100% in this series because they haven't had to. It hasn't been close. So, this series is over. I'm not even going to give them 5. Like Megan said, get out the brooms. I mean, it's not even close. Talent's just not even close.
Okay, but John, let me ask this question before we transition. I want to ask you about this because while you bring up valid points, riddle me this one, Batman. Let's say, in fact, that Luka, Porzingis, and Tim Hardaway Jr. were in this situation currently. Okay, so it was 100% Golden State versus 100% Dallas Mavericks. In your opinion, John,
Golden State in
would
5.
this be a series?
Golden State in 5.
You're still saying 5, even with the addition of Porzingis and Tim Hardaway Jr.
We've watched this series. Golden State they haven't flexed their muscles yet. Like if they go all out, which we haven't seen Jordan Poole go off, we haven't seen Clay go off. It's just kind of been sparingly, you know what I mean? Like if they really were going all out, this would be even uglier than it already is. Like the talent disparity between these two teams it's not even close. Like you see the Golden State's guys, and when they're at their best, it's hard to beat that. It's hard for anybody to beat that. Like Mike said, it would have been hard for Phoenix to beat that. And the Mavs aren't close to the team Phoenix is. Shout out to Megan.
Porzingis,
winning matters, but context matters too. There's a difference between Phoenix.
Porzingis is not that dominant center.
Yeah,
He's not that
Porzingis
dominant
soft,
big
man. Look,
yeah, he doesn't even play in back.
needed.
He doesn't play in back-to-back games. Like I don't think he's that piece that's that difference maker. I think Tim Hardaway Jr. would have made a difference.
Right, Megan.
And maybe they'll get one game, maybe 2, just because off of the 3 of them and Brunson's to being able to do his thing. Maybe 2, but Porzingis would have not been a part of that.
I agree.
Yeah, I think Porzingis, look, his first year, I mean, people just didn't know how to, again, not that it's the NBA, Eric, they didn't know how to guard him, and he was getting to spots and hitting crazy shots. He'd go down low. But to me, like, yeah, Hardaway Jr. would be more of a thing. But yeah, I mean, Porzingis, I think, was just becoming too much of a crybaby because Luka, whether he was taking the spotlight, Luka was delivering and scoring. So all I know is maybe it would have gotten to maybe 6. I can't see it though. I'm still saying in 5, even if he's there.
All right. Listen, I'm just saying, if we put these teams together and we put them both at 100%, I'm not saying that Dallas is going to upset Golden State. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I say it would at least be a series. This is what I hoped it would be with Luka and the talent that he has around him. But John is saying even with them at 100%, it doesn't matter. And yeah, I just find that.
I think we're all saying that. I think we're all saying
okay. That. All right. I'm not. I'll be the odd man out on this one.
You're bringing up like Tim Hardaway, and I'm looking at his stats, and the guy averages about 14 per his career, but he doesn't rebound. He doesn't assist. He doesn't do anything
you're doing per his career. Look
at
what
he doesn't. I'm looking at his stats. He's done nothing in his career outside of scoring. He doesn't rebound. He doesn't assist. He doesn't do anything statistically besides score. So what is he really going to add?
He's just shooting guard, and he's able to take some of that pressure off of Luka.
I know, but as a player, you got to be able to do other things than just put the ball in the basket. You know what I mean? Well, like, what else do you bring?
Yeah, y'all love role players. Y'all love PJ Tucker, right? There's a role player.
Yeah, he rebounds. He does dirty work. He rebounds. Like,
y'all love role players on here, so I mean,
she's just taking her
shots.
There's
another role player.
I didn't even hear Derek Fisher's name yet.
Not
apparently the most losses in NBA history for any player. Saw that useless stat today.
Oh, all right. Listen,
you're welcome.
Let's take another break, and again in the comments, and we'll get to that later on tonight. We do want to show love to the Tampa Bay Lightning. They have swept the Florida Panthers and are going back to the Stanley Cup Finals. So 813 is rocking about 40 minutes from here.
The Eastern Conference Finals.
Eastern. Thank you, Mike. Sorry.
Eastern Conference Finals.
What'd I say? Western.
No, you said the Stanley. You said you ready.
I said they're heading back to the Stanley Cup.
They're not going to the Stanley Cup. Stop it, Eric. We're going to stop them. We're going to beat the Rangers, and then we're going to knock them out.
Yeah, they're going to the Eastern
Conference. These stupid
Finals.
Lightning.
Oh, okay. See, I'm
tired of this nonsense.
Second round.
I'm thinking that both leagues are in the same, like the.
No,
the
yeah.
Stanley
Hockey started. Actually, this is one of the few years hockey started later. But I mean, look, you're Eric. it's a normal, unfortunately for me, being a Devils fan, it's a normal brain fart for you to have down there the last few years because they just keep going to the finals. So they keep getting the Stanley Cup finals, but they're headed to the Eastern Conference finals. And if John, whoever gets there is going to get beaten down by him anyway.
Who would it be? It would be the Rangers, would it?
Rangers or
Hey,
Carolina.
don't start with that nonsense, Eric. You're gonna dog my team like that. You're gonna dog my Hurricanes like that. You're gonna come on this show. You're gonna dog my Hurricanes like that. We're currently winning the series, and you're gonna say the Rangers already beat them.
John, listen.
That's my team.
You weren't having that. Okay, John, you weren't having a good 48 hours because your Heat are down still, and the fact that the Sky beat the Mystic. So I didn't want to pour salt into an open wound. And your Hurricanes lost yesterday, John. So, I mean, listen, you want me to sit up here and try and tell you and give you some hope. Here's what I'll say to you. There's still a chance. We don't know what's going to come of it, but there is still a chance, John Scheer.
Thank you.
But, I mean, listen, I've seen the Lightning play, brother. I know what this team is capable of. All right? So, bro, I'm just letting you know. Eastern Conference Finals, whether it be your Carolina Hurricanes or whether it be the New York Rangers, shout out to our man Jake Malik, to me, it really doesn't matter. I'm just saying.
Same.
John, I love you, brother, but maybe if you was in the Western Conference, you might have a chance, but it's the Lightning, bro. They don't call the 813 Champa Bay for nothing. I mean, come on, man. Facts. You got to call it as you see it, John.
Ooh, smack.
All right.
Smack.
We're going to take another break. When we come back, we are going to talk some WNBA. Also, we're going to talk one Mr. Nick Saban.
I was wondering because I was like, are we just talking Chicago Sky? Because I got some things to say.
About what?
The W. I got plenty to say.
Well, we're going to talk about, listen, we're going to talk about the W when we come back. More with the entire crew. And again, shout out to my man Ray Lynn in the back. Man, take us to break, brother.
If you have a business, company, or product, and you want to reach the right audience, contact DBNA Television. DBNA TV reaches over 100,000 viewers a month and has advertising plans for all budgets. You can see your ads running on Roku TV, Amazon Fire, On Demand, and dozens of other top platforms for only $1 a day. Call our advertising sales department between 10 a.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday, at 484-695-5187. That's 484-695-5187. Make the call and then watch the results. It pays to advertise on the DBNA Television Network.
Welcome back into the Sports Train, ladies and gentlemen. Your man Eric Wilson on a Monday night with the entire crew. Our Queen of Hoops, Megan Price, Mike Carrot-Snudo, and of course John Scheer. John, it's the fourth quarter, man. What's your Miami Heat gonna do, brother?
I told you. I mean, this game really doesn't matter. We got the game 5 in our back pocket.
No, never mind. No, John, it don't matter. We're gonna move on. Let's go on to the WNBA, shall we? Because we did start this show tonight talking about how the Chicago Sky and Candace Parker's with her triple-double. Oh, by the way, she was also named one of Time Magazine's top 100 influential people. So shout out to Candace Parker.
What? What do you mean you don't know how?
You know what? Get up. You done. You in timeout. I'm not talking to you right now. I am not talking to you right now.
She made 2K. She made the cover of 2K. Like, she's a champion right now.
And John's just going to sit up here. You see, this is what he does.
NBA TNT, like.
Yeah. A game in the Eastern Conference Finals doesn't matter. You should have kicked them off for that one, Eric.
I know. Queen of Hoops,
this is another one of those moments where winning matters.
Yes. So Queen of Hoops, talk to me about this because, again, and we're going to continually say it here on Sideline Sports and the Sportsman, man, free BG. This woman has been over in Russia way too long. And It's a travesty. It's ridiculous.
Oh, Eric, before I forget, I just saw Robin Roberts is interviewing her wife tomorrow on Good Morning America. I just saw it before we came on, and I meant to say it in the beginning. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
interesting
with Robin Roberts tomorrow morning on GMA.
Perfect.
Well, and I know that she's been able to talk to the consulate twice in the last week. So I'm
Mike, is there context to this potential interview?
What do you mean?
Is there is there an idea of what they're going to be like?
Oh,
what she's going to ask her?
I just saw the promotion. It was on during Sports Center, like when they were doing the NBA hits, and then when I went over to ABC to watch the pregame, I saw 2 commercials for it.
Okay.
So
I didn't know if they kind of previewed.
No, they just said it's the first time she's talking to anybody. She's talking to Robin Roberts.
Okay. Awesome. Good. So yeah, Queen, talk to me about this. Talk to me about the W, because I know you've got some insight into stuff. You know me, I'm biased when it comes to the W because I got love for a team that, they're the reigning defending champs. What more can I say?
Oh, I love that sticker we got up there.
Yes. Well, shout out to my man against Raylan. Thank you for that, brother.
Yeah, I love it. Definitely. I mean, we might as well start with Derek Fisher getting beat right now, 44-19 with 9 in the second quarter left. Let's see. Jackie Young got 14. Asia Wilson got 14. Nobody is in double digits on the Sparks. I am so sorry, Ray Lynn.
Who are they playing, Meg?
Las Vegas.
The Aces. They play in the Aces.
Well, listen, that's Becky Hammond all day long. I got Becky Hammond. And you know that entire team is like, we ain't letting Liz do anything tonight. Okay? Right. That's a – but when you have the best record in the league and you're coached by, even though she's a first year in the W, but she came from the NBA with that experience, plus she played the game, man.
So
Vegas is the team.
If you watch their videos on Facebook, they practice with men all day long. That's what Becky has them doing. So I think she just has that physicality, because when they lost Liz, they lost that size, that center depth. And what you saw has happened is De'Erica Hamby is now starting, because obviously you wouldn't have Hamby starting if you got Liz there. But she's been able to start. Her and Asia both are just eating in the post. They're in double digits on the boards every single night that they play. We saw Asia Wilson reach a career milestone. I don't know the exact numbers. I should have written that down. But she hit a career milestone in this past week, so shout out to her as well. I think the Aces are very dangerous. One team that's quietly winning and nobody's really talking about is that Connecticut Sun. They had that addition of Courtney Williams, who was a part of the ATL Dream last year, and then she had an incident outside of basketball, and the team ended up cutting her at the end of the season. But had Enrique not won MVP of the All-Star game, I think it would have been Courtney Williams, because she was the next top scorer. Like, she was an excellent guard. She's an excellent shooter. She's really dangerous. She looks happy over there in Connecticut. So I think that they're still a really dangerous team. People just aren't talking about them very much. We see Minnesota is struggling really, really bad in Stills last season, and I hate that for her. She's still doing double-doubles every single night. Like, she's still defending defensive player of the year. Like, she's still that person, but they're missing several pieces right now there in Minnesota, and they're struggling tough. We're also seeing the New York Liberty struggle really, really bad as well. I believe they're 1-4. Dallas is middle of the road.
Mystics are above the sky. Oh, Eric,
okay,
do you see that? 3, and I think 3 is better than 6.
Right now, Dallas is sitting at number
Megan,
5.
I'm sorry, John.
You
only had one loss, and you just got your second. Okay, if you look at the streak, my brother, you're on a losing streak. So I'd be
our
careful.
Record's better than yours.
John, it's a
well, and that other loss was to Dallas as well. Don't forget that.
Exactly.
So, John, I have a question. Do the Commissioner Cup games, do they count towards your standings?
Yeah.
Or is it separate?
Yes. Oh, yes. This is just separate. The Commissioner Cup games are separate, but they still count towards your standings.
They count towards it. Okay, that's what I was curious. I didn't know exactly how, because I'm new to the Commissioner Cup stuff.
The regular season games, they just added the Commissioner's Cup, but it's still a regular season game.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Right.
Yeah, it's overall record.
Okay.
So last week for the Wings, we started out the week losing to the Mystics 84-68. And it's a tough game. Mystics looked really, really tough in that game. Elena Deladon had an excellent game. Natasha Cloud is super serious over there.
I think this is going to be the best playoffs, Megan, that the WNBA's ever had.
Agree.
I mean, not to interrupt you, but I
No,
think that these are going to be the most competitive. I mean, just looking at like what you're like talking about with the Aces and the Sun and the Mystics, and the Wings, and even the Dream got better, and the Sky.
They did.
I mean, it just, and I'm not even talking about the Storm or the Mercury. Like, I feel like there's some, like, the playoffs are going to be so competitive this year. Get your popcorn ready, man. Like, that's just what I thought of when you said that, because there's just so many good teams. Like, the parity is, the parity's there.
I completely agree. And I don't get mad at the drama, because I think that, what we saw last season between the Aces and the Mercury, I think that helps build the storylines. It was a series where the last 3 games of the series were sold out. So shout out to those Vegas fans. They always show up for their team, and they love their team. Even though I know that there's some people that do not like the Aces, Mercury fans, so definitely pick up your popcorn. I think it's getting real interesting. I expect to see Dallas do big things. We got Satu Sabali back also. She also won her Turkish League. She's a champion as well. So she played her first game this past Saturday when we beat the Lynx. Now we got to play the Connecticut Sun back-to-back. So we'll see how that goes. I want to see how we match up against a team of that caliber, and go from there as far as my opinions on Dallas. But I think that we're starting to get into our rhythm. And our new guard in Veronica Burton, I'm impressed with her. I think there's still some development to do, but I'm very impressed with her. And I think that she's in the right spot as far as she's starting.
So when I'm just going to take a quick page out of this, and I will go to Mike, and then I'll go to John as well. This league, especially this year with the expanded regular season, it speaks to not only a level of attraction, but it speaks to a level of progression. And this team is really about to, this whole entire league, not this team, but this whole entire league. Listen, when I look at Chicago, y'all know how I feel. I mean, let's just call it what it is. Y'all already know it's my team. I love them. I mean, listen, they're right here. That's all you need to see. Nothing more needs to be said. But I will say this. The Chicago Sky now at 100%, to me, this is when the season starts, because now everybody is kind of back from playing overseas in their commitments. So I think beginning next week, as all these teams now are at full strength, and those who unfortunately were let go or cut, hopefully they get picked up somewhere, a la Chelsea Gray, who did sign with the Aces today. This is where we really begin to see who separates themselves. And after what I've seen, both with Allie coming back and then Kalia coming back, you added an Emma Mieseman, and it's like, wow, Candace was right when she said we had not seen the best Chicago Sky basketball, and I think that's what we're going to see this season. So I'll turn it over to the Phoenix Mercury, and the Washington Mystic representatives on here. But that's just, and gentlemen, we got to talk Nick Saban, so I'm going to let y'all go.
Well, I'll say this: the Mercury, again, a slow start, and it's kind of, again, I think the Brittany Griner thing, I mean, just from seeing the press conferences, I mean, they dealt with some injuries, but again, it's early in the season. Again, this team can definitely find each other. I mean, Skylar Diggins-Smith, Eric, you know how big I was on that signing last year, before last season, and then, to get a Diamond DeShields to come in. Look, you're right. It's going to be tough. Vegas is playing obviously great right now, and the Mercury took thanks for rubbing the salt in the wound, Megan, for my happy weekend. The Mercury took a 20-point beatdown from the Aces, but that put a little bit damper in my weekend. But the good news is the Mercury's next game, Megan, I'm going to leave it on this, is against the Sparks. So I definitely know who you're rooting for in that game. So I always appreciate, the Queen of Hoops love there, Eric. So
I'm always rooting for the GOAT. I'm always rooting for the GOAT.
Absolutely. But no, Eric, I'm with you. Players getting picked up, and again, I know it's not even about the whole money discussion, but I think it's definitely time for expansion, because, and I don't mind having deep loaded teams, but it's just insane when you see some of the people that are not there that could definitely contribute, but they're getting beat out. So it's time for expansion. But for the Mercury, I'm not worried. Your Chicago team was what, 500 going to the playoffs last year? So look, they'll find their stride. They're the Mercury. John, you can laugh all you want. The
16
Mercury
and 16.
have found their stride before and won championships. So again, if your Mystics do it, I'll tip my cap to you. But going through the Sky and the Mercury, Eric, I think the Mystics will have some trouble. Just saying.
I can't say the Mystics are winning the championship. I don't know who is because, like I said, the parity in this league is so great right now. I mean, we just looked at the standings, and you could name 6 to 8 teams that really have an opportunity to go into the playoffs and make some noise and even win the championship. So, I mean, like I said, look at the Aces, the Sun, the Mystics, the Dream, the Wings, the Sky. Like, that's 6 teams right there. Then we didn't even mention the Storm or the Mercury, who you can't leave out either of those teams. And we know what the Liberty, with their new look, are capable of. The Fever got all them draft picks. The Sparks are right there. Like, I know record-wise they're a little bit down, but the Sparks are still there. And then the Lynx are just a disaster. So, I mean, other than the Lynx, everybody else, like I said before, the Fever are going to be a couple years away with all their people. It's going to be a couple years before they develop. But this is what's great about the WNBA, that there's so many different teams that can go and win it. That's going to make for a fun playoffs. Got to go out and support the WNBA because, like Mike said, with only 12 teams, it's kind of like playing fantasy football and you only have an 8-team league. Of course, there's going to be so many great players on the free agency pool because not everybody can be on a roster. You got to up it to 10. For the WNBA, you got to expand so that way these players can be on rosters because you're going to keep having these great players sit on rosters because only so many roster spots. Just saying.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. And again, man, really quick, free Brittany Griner. We need to bring that young lady home. I'm excited to see the interview tomorrow, and shout out to Mike for bringing that to our attention. But free BG. We'll be back in 10 seconds. Welcome back into the sports arena. All right, our last topic of the night here. So, I very rarely talk college football when college football ain't going on. But when Nick Saban, arguably, in some people's view, one of, if not the greatest head coach in college football, goes out and speaks in a manner of which I maybe am not accustomed to listening to this man here, talking about how coaches, Jimbo Fisher, Deion Sanders, are paying to have players come to their school as opposed to going to Alabama. It leaves a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. And what I find the most interesting is Deion and Nick Saban just did an Aflac commercial. And then all of a sudden you want to kind of throw shade on a brother like that? But I think Deion's response was the greatest. Deion said, listen, Nick Saban used myself, referring to Deion Sanders, and Jimbo Fisher as pawns so that he could go to his boosters as a plea for them to step up their game to make sure that the top talent in the country winds up at Alabama and not at Texas A&M or a Jackson State. So I want to hear from the three of you about this. And I'll start with John Shear on this one.
Yeah, I completely agree with Deion Sanders on this. He's 100% right. Deion's doing exactly what you want coaches to do that actually care about the kids. Not that Nick Saban doesn't, but Deion cares about his kids. He cares about helping them grow not only as players, but more importantly as men. That's what he cares about. That's what he's tried to bring. I would think Nick Saban would be happy that a guy like Deion Sanders is trying to make sure that these kids get to actually grow, like they actually get mentored and they have somebody with them. That's not just Nick Saban, but it's a smaller school, an HBCU type of school that is getting the mentorship. Like you would think Nick Saban would be happy about that, but no, he takes it personal because for him, it seems like it's all about the money. And this guy, at least in my opinion, has been paying these players for years. Let's not ignore that. You've been doing this for years. You've just been doing the backdoor thing. Now it's legal with the NIL deals or whatever, and you just can't keep up. You just can't get with the times because you have no idea how to handle this. And now everybody else is doing it legally when you were doing it illegally for all those years. And now you mad because everybody else is trying to get a piece of your pie that you've been hiding that pie for years, and now everybody else finds out there's pie, and so they get a piece, and now you're upset. Get out of here, Nick Saban. I hate this guy so much. Like, he's such a clown. I'm with Jimbo, I'm with Dion. Like, get out of here, Nick Saban. You're a fool. You're a clown. Get out of here. Nonsense.
So let me go to the Queen of
for
Hoops.
You. Gator Chomp coming for your ass.
Let me go to the Queen of Hoops and ask her this question. You know, a lot of times, if you're a quote disgruntled employee, sometimes when you transition, that's when you spill the tea, if you will. You know what I mean? Right. It's like when you're working under somebody, you kind of mind your P's and Q's, and you know, you just kind of just ride the wave. You enjoy the success, you take the brunt of the failures, but then you also get an inside view of what's behind the curtain, which Jimbo Fisher had. So let me ask you, Queen of Hoops, when you look at this situation, is Jimbo Fisher snitching on Nick Saban?
No, I think it was the exact opposite. I think Nick Saban was trying to snitch on him. I think he called him out, and Jimbo defended himself, said it was lies, said that they were baseless lies, that in fact he only has one recruit or early signee who has an NIL contract right now. I think that Dion handled it in the best way possible, in the classiest way possible, because how could you not want to see a HBCU build their program up and what he's done for that program and how amazing that is? No, absolutely. If you are going to call that out, you're a complete and total hater. And he has lost his mind. The whole reason the NIL is around right now is because they forced it, because they were getting paid under the table all these years, just the entire time. And the NCAA made so much money off of this. We've seen so many coaches retire because they don't know how to handle this, because they've been doing it dirty for so long. So if anybody should be called out for this, it absolutely should be Nick Saban. So who are you to throw somebody else under the bus? When you've had the top recruiting class for how long? 15, 16 seasons? Like, absolutely, you're the one that should have been called out. Instead, you're airing somebody else's dirty laundry out when you have skeletons in your closet. So he lost his mind, in my opinion.
All right, so let me finish up here with Mike. We got about 4 minutes left here, 5 minutes left on the show. So, Mike, man, you are the college guy. You know, you've seen it all. You've talked to these players. You've talked to some of these coaches, man. From your perspective, how are you viewing this entire shakeup that has happened?
Well, Eric, Megan, and John bring up great points, but they did the Cliff Notes version of a lot of it. And like you said, in 5 minutes, this is a whole nother show topic conversation. Yes, everybody knows it was always a dirty secret around that, you know, oh, certain boosters, you know, certain programs, boosters are, you know, greasing, you know, if it's not straight cash, it's money. If anybody here's the thing, watch the 30 for 30, the Pony Express. You'll understand how it started and why SMU got the death penalty. But in this case, yeah, Nick Saban is crying a little bit. Jimbo Fisher is too. The NIL is a good thing, yes. And the only problem is, and very few have said this, Eric, and I said this from the beginning, is anytime we talk NIL and how it needs to be adjusted, everybody talks about just football, right? Just football. We were so stoked when Paige Beckers got that $1 million deal. Like, good for her, because now the NIL is supposed to be about getting deals. And in recruiting, kids are going to see where certain athletes are going to do it. So Deion Sanders, you're right, John, handled it great, because he also went after Florida State, because Florida State kind of said, oh, well, did they, you know, how did they get this player away from us? But since Deion was an alum, he goes, you know, in 20 years, how many recruits I've talked to for them. So I'm good enough to do it for them, but I get a guy on my own. And now for some reason, something's wrong. So, yeah, I think Saban and Jimbo going back and forth are terrible. And I will say this about Nick Saban. Yes, he does drive me crazy. Is he a great coach, Eric, like you said? Absolutely. I mean, to go to Alabama, and everybody knows it doesn't matter that you're, you know, 9 coaches removed from Bear Bryant, Eric. You know, when there's somebody that big of a figure, like, you're still the guy after that guy. And to pass what Bear Bryant did is insane. So I will give him his props on that. But when Nick Saban took over Alabama, and even the first year, people didn't talk about it much, because there was and there's been multiple people that I've talked to around the college game saying that there was an alleged, and everybody says alleged because nothing ever came out of it, but big steroid problem. And Nick Saban wiped that out when he got there pretty much. There was a lot of guys gone, and this is obviously way before the transfer portal. But to go after Jimbo Fisher, I mean, yeah, it's good for that. I do not like the SEC blocking Lane Kiffin from going on a sports talk show. He was going to go on the Dan Patrick show, and I couldn't wait to hear Lane Kiffin puke stuff out because that would have been comical. But it's there. So the NIL was meant for athletes to have that chance to make money, right, Eric? But now the boosters, instead of going behind the back, the boosters can be like, Eric, I need you. Forget going to your first love, Penn State. Come out west, man. There's sun. There's no snow. Hey, here's 2 cars. Here's an NIL at the car dealership. Man, look at that. Our dealership's named Wilson.
It was already happening.
Look at you.
It was already happening.
It was already happening. Megan, okay, I'm not saying it wasn't, but the whole point to that is, like, people say, oh, it's happening so much. More so in basketball than football because, look, football, there's 85 scholarship guys. You have 85 scholarships. So for Alabama to get that best talent every year, yes, Nick Saban, winning will do that. We all know that. Winning breeds success. Where do we want to go if they're winning and they're coming after us? Well, we should go there. But I will say this. I'm not going to be naive and say it wasn't happening, Megan. I just, again, for the bigger players, absolutely. But for the
every single D1 school had a paid player. Every single one.
I think so too. I agree.
That's what I'm saying.
Every single one had a paid player.
I'm not saying there wasn't one, but I'm saying for the guys 80 through 85 on the scholarship, they weren't getting paid. Like, and again, it was illegal. So I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying, like, for what Nick Saban, I was agreeing with you guys. What Nick Saban did, he does like to cry wolf, and at times when he does cry wolf, he sounds whiny. But then it's funny how things kind of get changed. But they're not going to be able to change the NIL now. And plus, all these coaches are going nuts about the transfer portal. And like I said, that's for a whole nother show because the transfer portal is just insane.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us here tonight on the Sports Arena. If y'all want to stay tuned, we are going to do a smoking section this evening. That's an opportunity where we come and air stuff off our chest. But for my man Ray Lynn in the background holding it down for us, big thank you, sir, for you producing tonight. Great love. Mike Harrison, believe in the Pac-12. Megan Price, 806 in the sip-off. And make sure you check out John Shear tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, Sideline Sports. Sports Arena, part of the Sideline Sports Network family. Follow us on YouTube, Sideline Sports Network, and at Twitter at Sideline Sports 1. We'll see you guys on Wednesday. Stay tuned for the smoking section.